Today is December 10th, 1978, which I would like to tell about my beginning life or all my life. So my grandchildren and children know from young days. I was born in Lithuania, which was that time was controlled by Russians, which one time Lithuania and Russia had big war, so Russians took that place and controlled. When I was born, so I was born, that was part in Russia. And my father's name is Joseph, mother's name is Amelia. I had one sister, Prudence, name was Prudence, and she was 4 years older. And I had two brothers. One was Walter, which was 9 years younger than me, but I had another brother that was only a year and a half younger than me. And we had good-sized farm, so we could afford, my father took private teacher for us for 3 years to teach, in Polish and Russian, which, if you know languages is better. Then when the teacher didn't come after 3 years, so I had to go in town and to finish that Russian school. I had to go 2 or 3 more years, that is, to finish that Russian school. When I got through the school, I come home. Well, at the real big schools, they were real far from us. So my father says, now you got to do some farm work and to learn all that farm work. Well, gee whiz, for me, I never worked before. Oh, I used to watch like animals, like cows or horses, but that was, when I was a kid. We had few people working for us, like 2 men and 2 ladies, year round. So they used to do hard work, and I just used to loaf around and watch these animals. After that, one of the guys was working for me, or for my father, that is, and he wants to go to United States, but he was a little bit short of money. He worked a couple years for us, but a little bit short. My father gave him some money to go, but before he went, I told him, I said, when you get there, write letters to us. That's so good in the United States. So, easy to make money, just, for open doors or something like that. For millionaires, you get about $5 a day. So, well, that man was good enough for me when he got to the United States. So he wrote these letters for me. And I showed father. I said, gee, look at here. I work here hard, 14, 15 hours a day. And when I get to the United States, I work short hours. I'll be making the money, and maybe I'll be better off like that. My father first was kind of mad, but then I always keep on telling him till I got on my side. So he gave me the money to go to the United States. So I was glad to get away from that farm work, because one thing I didn't know, or another thing, my father tried to teach me like mechanical work. He was a good mechanic. He used to make everything for the farm by his hands. So he was a good mechanic. He tried to make me, fast to be mechanic. For me, I used to spoil things sometimes. Well, that he didn't like. I had rough words and sometimes a little beaten even for that. So I thought I was glad to get away from him. So he gave me some money. So I thought, oh, I'm all right now. I go to United States. But I was only 17 years old, well, going on 18. I came to the United States about August 12, 1912. That's years ago. And so the way I came was everything okay, but I found that man, he was not so easy to get money. He was working at the butcher shop and getting only $2 a day for about 13, 14 hours. But for me, I thought, gee, this is what I'm going to do. I'm a little bit too young to get a job, but I got in touch with my second cousin. So he was a foreman one place. So he told me, well, I could give you a labor job. He was working on a railroad, CNI railroad, and he said, well, I can give you the job to file some iron castings or lumber and all that, because I didn't know no language or no mechanical. So I filed these castings and all. I used to get so, dirty, and we worked that time 10 hours and sometime overtime even, but was not overtime, not paid. But then, and I worked well a few months, and then I found in the spring there is a good man, which was even neighbor from my country. So I begged them to take me as a partner. He was a carpenter job, but it was kind of that time shortage of a help in the railroad. So he took me as a helper for him, but the helpers, we used to get same wages he got. That was 27 cents an hour. In labor, when I worked, I got only 16.5 cents an hour. It's a lot of difference. So that man took me as a partner, and he teach me for about 3-4 months. Well, when fall comes, weather bad, so we got laid off. Last month we came, first month we got laid off. So, but anyhow, I had a chance to learn a little bit. I bought some tools, and and that man was good carpenter, good man, and he teach me some about different things about to be a carpenter. So when laid off comes, well, they laid me off. So that was a trick, that I didn't have job no more that time. Then I was looking for job. I went to Pullman, which was not very far in Chicago, and Pullman. So I got a job, but it was piecework on the carpenter job, making the roofs for boxcars. So that was piecework, real hard work. Only I could make around 22 cents an hour. So I worked there for 3-4 months. That was like winter time, inside job. Wasn't too bad, but hard work and not much money. Then we got through with them boxcars, so I got laid off again. Only thing is, was good living was kind of cheap, which we got for room and the coffee and the soups. That is for in the evening soups. We paid only $4 a month. Well, when butcher was extra, that we used to go get the book from butcher shop, which was that was. He came to about between $14 and $16. Just imagine, didn't cost me no $20 to live a month. That was, them days was pound meat you could buy for around 8 cents, pound pork chops for 8 cents a pound. But then finally I was looking for that job same time every day. I went to Cicero. I met one man that I knew from old country. He said, he's got a job. Somebody in his place got some fingers cut off on punch press, and he says if you want that job only 3 days a week, only 16 cents an hour again. That was, funny place, was in Cicero. I thought, gee whiz, 3 days a week, 16 cents, it's going to be hard to live on that. So only thing is, then I had a bicycle. I put some couple tires made out of hose rubber. I put on that, so I tried. I made it anyhow to Cicero with that bicycle. So when that bicycle broke down, really you need some money to fix, and even I didn't have that much money even to fix that bicycle. 16 cents an hour for, or I used to make around 4 hours and a half a week. That was very bad for a while. But same time I was looking for that carpenter job. Was the railroad was not very far, and the Chicago Great Western was on 12th Street and 48th Avenue, Cicero. So I went there, and I told boss that I want that kind of work. I like to get that carpenter job. And they had about, a couple hundred carpenters, and the boss took me. So finally he put me with a real good man. That man worked 10, 15 years, was a real good carpenter, an old man, and I was young. He used to call me kid, but he liked me anyhow. I tried my best to work with him, so I worked with him all summer in Cicero on that railroad. Oh, that was pretty good there. That was 27 cents an hour again. I used to come. Then I saved some money, and I went on Jefferson Street, which used to be Jewtown, on 12th Street in Austin. So I bought the watch for $3 with some guy. Oh, he wanted $30. He told me it was this and that, and like stone or something, looked like gold. A real good looking watch. But he went down, so I bought it for $3. When I come home, my boarding boss asked me, oh, where do you got that nice looking watch like that? I said, oh, I bought it on Jefferson Street. I don't know, maybe stolen, but I only paid $3. And he had a concertina, but he was a married man with the children, and he couldn't do nothing with that concertina. He didn't care to play or to learn. So he says, you know what, I give you that concertina for that watch, and which will only cost me $3. That would be a good deal. So I took that deal, but that watch didn't last very long. It was getting black. Was Hamburg was just sprayed with the gold or something, but it was going all right. So from that, one day came some musician that could play concertina, and he played that concertina. That concertina, that voice got my mind so much that I was just dreaming about that, how could get that sound out of that concertina. So I tried, without notes, without teacher, I couldn't do much. I learned some, but not right. But finally I got connected with some musicians, and they showed me about notes and all that. I began to learn notes, and I liked so much to play it that even boarding boys, wouldn't keep me on the board because I was making too much noise with that concertina. In about 8 months, I could play, small places like parties or small weddings or something like that, but the money was coming in already. So I was learning more and more. I learned so that I become pretty good musician. Then I played good places, and I used to make up to $30, $40 a day, like big weddings and all that. One day I played in Kensington, and one guy was watching me. He was from Chicago Heights, and they they need musicians bad. They didn't have nobody concertina or accordion that could play. They had a band, but band for dance or wedding is too much. That band was not so good anyhow. So he told me, he says, "You come with me. I got wedding next day, and you play somehow with us and teach us, and you make good money then." I thought maybe it's a good chance because there was no early musicians in Chicago. It was a band, but they, brass instruments, not too good for that. Then I went to Chicago Hutch. I started with them guys teaching them, and I made a little orchestra. And we used to play, different, about 2-3 nights a week, which I used to make up to about $40 a week. So, with them guys that I teaching them, and I didn't pay them much because I teaching them only. Then finally 19, was 15, I bought a car for myself. It was named Studebaker, 1912 Studebaker. But in them days cars was rear end was connected with transmission somehow. Well, and that used to break down on me, so I had a lot of riders. These friends of mine, musicians, they want rides, but that thing was breaking down every time I took to garage, which was about $100 repairs. So in about 6 months, when I've been broke with that thing, keep on. So then I finally sold it. Same time, I bought a book, musician's book, which is for concertina. You showed notes and how to make them and what they mean, every, note. And I got good men that explained me, and I learned even to write notes. I wrote quite a few polkas, and then these guys, they liked very much. They thought that's something new, and they were pretty good. Then I used to sell some of them polkas in Chicago, so I made the money. It was pretty good, but everything all right. I got to register for the Army. That was 1917. They registered me for Army, to go to the Army. Because I was citizen, I thought, now what happened? Son of a gun, things was good here and here. They're going to take me in the Army. And being war like that, I thought, heck, maybe it never come. And about 40, 50 of us went on train to Camp Grant, where we landed and made the 86th Division, from us. And that drill was kind of hard beginning. For a few weeks, I had to learn all these Army drills. But then after that, one morning, Captain was calling for musicians. He was looking. I was glad when he called for musicians. I said, I'm a musician. So he put that down on a piece of paper, my name and all that. First thing you know, they form band, which was about 50. Wow, was out of about 4 or 5 regiments, could find a lot of musicians. And same time, they needed buglers for every company, 2 buglers. I thought, wow, I try this bugler job with the company. It seems like easy. Musicians, they got practice every day, and it's pretty. That leader was pretty tough, and so I took that bugler job. So they gave me a book, which was notes and everything, and and what to do with that bugle. So then I learned to be a bugler. And in short time, they examined us, these buglers, that gang. We had about 40, and which is better to be a teacher on that gang. And by golly, what happened told me that I should teach these guys. Oh, I was so bashful because these other men, they couldn't read music good. It was kind of hard for them to learn fast, but I learned faster. So I took them guys out for a few days, out to blow that horn so they could be better buglers. But then still I was bashful, and another thing, they appoint me, non-commissioned officer, so I can get more money and better name, even if we were eating with the non-commissioned officers together. So, but anyhow, still I was so bashful, and I've been bashful all my life, but in the army I was, with them colonels and generals, I was so bashful. So one day I told them, I said, I got good men, came from second, that was from second trip, that our division went to France, but didn't take me that time. It took my partner. So they brought all new men, about 10,000. So again, to be a bugler. Then I thought, one good musician came from Chicago Heights, and I took that to headquarters and to the coroner. They show to the coroner, this is good man. He can take my place, and he's good English talking, and he's good. He was good cornet player too, and same time he learned fast to be bugler. Oh, that corner, he says, oh, you learn yet, you learn. So what he done, then he put me nights, evenings, so give me teacher to learn, but you can't learn that fast. So again, I went back in a couple of weeks. I said, I don't want that job, let that man have it. So then I give that job to that man. His name was Eckert from Chicago Heights. He was a good man. So he got my job, and he got appointed master sergeant in about 3-4 weeks, because he was, he was a pretty good teacher all around, better than me. So I was only bugler, but it was very easy with me. He didn't care if I do my work or not. He send somebody else to my place. I used to even go to Chicago, without the known company. Just that man knew that I am going. He used to put somebody else in my place. It was so good for me that I give my job. Then in short time, I got ordered to go to Houston, Texas. They needed buglers and musicians in 15th Division. So I thought, by golly, now only me that they appointed like that. So they took me to Houston, Texas. So they gave me there a bunch to teach again. They tried to make band, but it was kind of poor division, not enough musicians to make a band. So only I have about 35, so I made only a gang of buglers. Again, I had to teach them. But that was pretty easy. We used to always just go outside. Oh, there was a big, like by the river, and, practice on bugles to blow. And we stayed in Houston, Texas for about 3-4 months. But we made little orchestras. So we used to play in the evenings, and same time I was bugler for company. So they liked that anyhow. They had little entertainments in the evenings, like we made orchestra. So, but then, in not very long time, the war got over with Germany. Oh, that night was a noise and all that squeaking. Oh, that was, geez, just people seems like went crazy because the war was over. Everybody was so happy. Then we stayed about another month or two. We got shipped back to Chicago, or that is Illinois Camp Grant. Where we were before, where we come from. So made us discharges, and so I got, sent me home because war was through, and it was still took few months before they got ready with everything to send me home. So the war was over, and my music business was over with the Army. So I had to come back to town where I come from. That was Chicago Heights, and start some. But I sold my instruments before I went to the Army. I didn't have instruments, and money same time short too. So it was kind of hard for me to get the good instruments. So I went to work for a while, and in some foundry I was grinding castings for a while, so to make some money, and start again with that orchestra. And a couple of musicians got killed in the Army when they were with me, when they were sent to France. So it was kind of changed all around. So I had to make like new orchestra again. That took me a few months till I made some money to buy concertina and cornet, and organize gang again. Oh yeah, while I was working in that foundry, grinding these castings, I used to come home for dinner. Only was a couple blocks. And one day I came home for dinner, I found telegram. There's a girl that I met in the Army. She's downtown. She came to Chicago. I got to pick her up. Oh my, I got almost stiff and cold because she was young, only 16 years old. And here there's no jobs in Chicago Heights for girls. And what I'm going to do with that? Then finally I thought, wow, only for me to do the right thing, to go and meet her and bring her here. So I went. Oh, she was waiting, and so I picked her up and brought her to I had a fine board for her, and then that comes that two places I got to pay for my board and for her board. But wow, and she was a little bit too young to find good job. And another thing, there's hardly no jobs in Chicago Heights for girls. Finally, we found one. Oh, nail some box, make some a little box like to nail boards or something. She went one day, but she never worked before. She was hitting fingers instead of nails. She was, when she come home in the evening, was sore fingers from being hit with a hammer, nailing these boards. So I was kind of feeling bad too. I thought, well, case like that, we're going to look for something else. We're going to go to Chicago or see if we find a better job for you. So I tried that. Then we went to Chicago by some friends. He said, all right, she can get good job here, and there's girls that would help her to find good job. Wow, and she's gonna, stay in Chicago. Well, I was glad because, I don't have to pay two boards. For me, it's kind of hard. I want to make some money, but paying two boards, I hardly can make nothing. So, but and she was everything okay. I was glad that she's going to stay there. But later in the evening, when I was going home, I see she's looking for clothes to go too. I thought, well, why is that now? You're supposed to stay in Chicago. And but she says, oh no, she says, I just go with you, that's all. Well, what you gonna do then? Then I took her with me coming back. I